line flag back there, and I want to make sure we continue to have people in the Senate who represent Georgia, who respect the police and don't have any desire to defund or dismantle the police. I've worked really hard the last several years to make sure that we have the right people on the Supreme Court, the people who will respect the Constitution as it is. In the Supreme Court anymore. And it won't just be the sitting judge, the number of justices that we have right now. The Democrats will add more justices to ensure that they have a majority on that court. We cannot let that happen. We hear about gun control. If Ossoff and Warnock are elected, we won't even be talking about gun control anymore. We'll be talking about gun confiscation. We cannot let that happen. I respect the Second Amendment too much and the rights that it protects not to do. I respect it so much that we cannot let that happen. And I fought for nearly 12 years for healthcare freedom. Obama said if you like your doctor, you can keep it. We saw that was a lie. We won't even have to worry about whether if we like our doctor, we can keep it if they passed single-payer, socialized health care. We'll wind up being lucky if we can even get treatment if we need it, when we need it. We cannot let that happen. We have to stand for health care freedom. And if you like the economy that has been growing under President Trump and you like those tax cuts, if we don't hold the Senate, we will lose those tax cuts and our taxes will go up. And finally, the most important thing is that we've got to make sure that the people who are in the Senate respect the Constitution, that they cherish the Constitution, and that they are not going to take our country into a socialized direction. The radical left is what we will have if we elect Ossoff and Warnock. We cannot do that. We have to do all that we can right now to make sure that David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler are reelected. Make sure that you sign up to volunteer. We need people who are willing to send text messages, people who are willing to make phone calls in these last few hours, go door to door. Make sure your neighbors have voted. Tell them why you're sitting out here in the cold today, listening to all of us, and why you care so much about America that you're taking time today to do this. Make sure they understand what's at stake. Tell your personal reasons why it's so important that we hold the Senate. And together, if we all do this around the state, we will be able to save America. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jenny Beth. Keep fighting. She's a great Georgian and a great American. So how many of you voted for Donald Trump for president? Yes. Yes. And we know the problems in that election, right? Yes. But I want you to know, I believe from the bottom of my heart that when we win, when Georgia wins, when Kelly Loeffler and David Perdue win on Tuesday, it will prove to everybody Georgia was a Republican state. Yes. So we have to do this to keep Donald Trump's legacy. Fight, fight, fight. Now I want to ask you this. How do we win? How do we win? How do we win? How do we win? We vote. How do we win? We vote. How do we win? Vote. How do we win? Vote. How do we win? Vote. That will vindicate Donald Trump. I've got another great speaker for you. You're going to love her. She came down from Illinois because she doesn't want to see America become like Illinois. She's a great candidate. We hope she'll run again. Catalina Lauf, come on up.
Thank you so much, David. Hello, Gwinnett County. How's everybody doing? I'm Catalina Lauf. I ran for Congress in Illinois. And what do you all think of when you think of Illinois politics? Yeah. The deepest of blue states. And let me tell you, Georgia, you are not a blue state. You are a red state. And you must remain that way. You don't want to become a blue state. And I speak on behalf of everybody from blue states when I tell you that patriots who love God, who love our guns, and love our country are counting on you to deliver this Tuesday. Dr. Richard McCormick said in an incredible speech there, my family came here from Latin America. They came here because where they came from, they had nothing. They fled poverty, corruption, and war to find freedom and opportunity here. We are the greatest country in the world on our worst day. The greatest country in the world on our worst day. We must remain that way, and it all comes down to this Tuesday. So please do what you can. You guys there in the back, you young people, you got to make sure your friends, your boyfriends, your ex-boyfriends, everybody comes out to vote because America is counting on you. The future of the American dream is counting on you. Thank you all. God bless you. God bless America.
Thank you, Catalina. It'll be great to have her in Congress. And now I want to bring up another lady who ran in one of these difficult seats, Kim Klasik. Come on up, Kim.
Thank you. What's up, Georgia? How are you? So my name is Kim Klasik. I ran in the greater Baltimore area. If you haven't seen it, please check it out. I did an ad where I wore my red dress and my red heels, walking down the streets of Baltimore. One, because I wanted to look cute. And two, because I wanted to show people exactly what's going on in Democrat-controlled cities. The same people that ran Baltimore in the ground, they're running for office here in Georgia. And so you've got to hold the line. So I just want to run down 3 clowns real quick, and I can say everything that I want to say today because according to Democrats, because I'm a black woman, I am neither racist or sexist, right? So I can say whatever the heck I want. Right? First clown, Stacy Abrams. Not even 2 years ago, she ran for governor, and Georgia rejected her. But she's like a crazy ex-girlfriend that just won't go away. Here she is, now getting involved, right? She tried to change the election rules so she can lie, cheat, and steal and take the election. She talks about voter suppression while her sister, who looks just like her, unfortunately, God bless them, her sister's now a judge in Georgia, and she's suppressing legal voters. How did that happen? It's ridiculous. That's why, again, we must hold the line. Clown number 2, Ralph Warnock. Now, Warnock is actually very dangerous, right? Not just a domestic abuse case. We can't talk about that, right, media? Can't talk about that. But he is dangerous because he wants to, 1, defund the police. If you defunded the police in Baltimore City, we would all die, okay? We have so many shootings each year. We're at a daily rate now. Shootings every single day. We need a police presence. The only people that are pushing for defunding the police are those that are basically protected by the Capitol Police every single day, like AOC, right? Ian Omar. They want to defund the police. But us who are out here, American civilians, we're the ones that are at stake. And they don't care. Now, he's also dangerous because he acts as if you can't criticize him because he shields himself with the Bible, right? He calls himself a reverend. Those are the most dangerous types of people. Now, the third clown, we all know Jon Ossoff. I like to call him the bought and sold candidate, right? When you go to Senate, you have to take an oath, and you have to swear to defend the Constitution against foreign and domestic enemies. He is so far in bed with China, he would be a domestic enemy. He could not take that oath. A soy boy. That's hilarious. Okay. A soy boy at that. Yes. So you know what? You've got to hold the line, Georgia. You don't want this country to look like Baltimore City. I can tell you, it's awful. We have to hold the line. We have to make sure we tell our friends, our cousins, all of our relatives to get out and vote on January 5th for Kelly Loeffler and David Perdue. America is, I know it's a lot of pressure, but we are really relying on you guys to do this for us. And I know someone asking earlier, how's things changed? There are a lot more poll workers out there right now. There's a lot more volunteers. There's a lot more eyes on the ground taking a look at everything that's going on. So you got to get out there and vote, because if you don't vote, we definitely will not win. My name is Kim Klasik. I love you, Georgia. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kim. She's great. And we've got one more lady who also ran, who's going to run again. These guys are the future of the Republican Party. Anna Polina Luna, come on up, Anna.
What is up, Georgia? I just wanted to say thank you. I am from Florida, so I'm not used to the cold, but I'm here for you today. Because as an Air Force veteran, I could not uphold my oath of enlistment without fighting for our country today. When I heard the platform of Minnie Trudeau is what I'm going to call him because I can never pronounce his name, and Warnock, I realized that we're not just fighting the Democrat Party of our grandparents or the Democrat Party of Kennedy. What we're fighting is communism. In 1963, Congress amended the communist goals as public record to warn the American people as to what they were going to do to try to infiltrate our government. We are a constitutional republic, first and foremost. We will never be a communist country. But among these goals was taking control of the media, infiltrating our school system, ensuring that they embrace every socialist movement, and finally, the worst, making sure that the American people thought that violence and insurrection was part of what the American dream is all about. Doesn't that sound a little bit like BLM and some of these organizations that Warnock and Ossoff are fighting for? Is that not communism? Will we let that happen? On January 5th, you need to tell everyone, you need to show the nation, and you need to show the world that it is okay to be pro-life, pro-God, pro-gun, and anti-socialist. Thank you, all of you, and God bless America, and Donald J. Trump is still your president.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you. What a bright, bright future we have. Our next speaker is somebody that I'm really pleased is here. He told me he hadn't really been involved in politics before a few years ago when a tragic shooting took his daughter's life. But now he's engaged because he knows what's at stake for the future of our country. I want to give you Andrew Polak. Come on up, Andrew.
Hey, how's everybody doing? I'm not a pro at this like these people behind me. That's why I got my notes right here. So I want to thank you all for coming out for our candidates, Kelly and David. We really got to get them into the Senate. And I came out, I flew from Oregon last night, and I came out for 3 reasons. My first one was I love America like you all do. And I couldn't sit and just watch us lose the Senate to Democrats. I couldn't just let that happen. And then I don't know if anyone else is like me. Did anyone else stop watching Fox on election night? So I started watching Newsmax. You guys watching Newsmax at all? And I started hearing this annoying commercial with Chuck Schumer. It said, if you guys could remember it, because I can't get it out of my head. First we take Georgia, and then we change America. We don't want to change America. We love America. So I couldn't just sit back. And the third one is the most important. I really despise Democrats. And I'm saying that nicely because I'm in the South. Bless their hearts. So like I said, like Dave said, I was never into politics. I voted for the first time in 2016 with my 2 sons. I couldn't, back then it was like terrible watching what the Obama-Biden administration did to this country. So we went out and voted for President Donald J. Trump in 2016. So I never would have been up here, but what happened to me, I don't wish on anybody. My daughter Meadow was killed. Still tough, So before her body, she was even buried, Democrats rushed to the TV and they started blaming the NRA, Republicans, President Trump, and coming after our Second Amendment. Then CNN put on this despicable town hall, going after people like me and like you. But after all that happened, I just wanted to know the facts of how I could put my daughter in a school and she could get murdered. So I did my own investigation into what happened in Parkland. And it was restorative justice school leniency policies that were pioneered in Broward and spread across America by the Obama-Biden administration. It meant that a known threat was never addressed in the school. Anti-police reforms meant that despite 45 calls to the killer's house, he was never arrested. The more I learned, the more I realized that the tragedy happened in a Democrat-run county with a Democrat sheriff. You remember Sheriff Israel, who claimed he had amazing leadership? Thank God for Governor DeSantis. He removed that piece of garbage. Look what you're stuck with here in Georgia. Kemp. What a disgrace. He's done. 7 of his deputies hid outside the building that day and didn't go in. And he bragged about his leadership. Then we had another Democrat, a supervisor of elections, Brenda Snipes. Does that name ring a bell? In 2018, after Election Day, trucking in ballots of just like same thing that's going on now. We had it in Broward County. She was removed by another good friend of mine, now Senator Scott. Another Democrat had to be removed. That's 2. We had a Democrat superintendent, a Democrat school board, a Democrat DA, all implementing Democrat ideas on school discipline, mental health, and policing. You realize why I moved out of that county now, right? I just wanted leaders held accountable for their actions, and so did other families, many who were Democrats. So we ran school board races. We advocated to hold the superintendent. I left him out. You guess his party, another Democrat, came from Chicago, if you could believe it. My luck, I got a Democrat from Chicago, moved to Broward, bringing these policies. And we tried to hold him accountable for his failures. And you know what the superintendent and the school district did to us parents who were grieving? They orchestrated public attacks on us and called us racist because we wanted accountability on these policies. I'll tell you, it was heart-wrenching. For me, I was able to take it because I didn't really give a crap what they said about me. But the other families who were Democrats, they actually called them racist too for trying to get accountability for their children. These Democrats cannot be allowed to take total control over America. Just like they have in Broward, they're despicable people who are driven by hatred of everything that you and your family hold dear. And they will never be held accountable by the press. Look at Raphael Warnock. He is a man who allegedly covered up child abuse at his camp he ran, allegedly ran over his wife with a car, and who praises Fidel Castro. But will you ever find anything critical in the news about him? Never. If he and David Ossoff get elected to the Senate, they'll run the country right into the ground, causing untold tragedy. And anyone who ever criticizes them, they'll be called racist too. And at this point, we won't even really have a country anymore if they get elected. That's why you and everyone you know have to go out and vote. Like everyone behind me's been saying, you guys all voted. We're preaching to the choir. You got to get on your phones. You got to call your friends, your neighbors, everyone. You got to get them out there to vote. You can't let what I witnessed in Broward spread like a cancer to the rest of this country. So God bless you. God bless our country, our president, and thank you all.
Let's hear it for Andrew. Thanks. Thank you, man. Georgia will never become Democrat. No. So people say that young folks naturally are more liberal, more democratic. Yeah, bring them on. Well, I want to bring our next speaker on, who, when he was in college, looked at all the BS that was going on around him, saw President Trump, and decided he was going to fight, be one of these young people who tells the truth, and fight for President Trump, fight for freedom, and he's out there every day doing that. Let me give you Ryan Fournier. Ryan, come on up, buddy.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. How you guys doing? You ready to win? You ready to win big league? So I hear there's this rumor going on around here that Joe Biden is president-elect. How do you guys feel about that? Let me just say this. The media does not declare the winner of a presidential election. The Electoral College doesn't. We haven't had that vote yet. Do you guys really believe, honestly, that Joe Biden got 80 million votes, more than Barack Obama? More than Barack Obama, no. There is no doubt about it that this election was not transparent and it was not fair. There were irregularities all across this country. You just couldn't find a judge who wanted to be ballsy enough, I'll say, to scrape beyond the surface and actually look at the evidence. But we're going to be doing that in Congress on January 6th. We are objecting this election. And there's over 100 members of the GOP who don't want to get primaried, who support this president, who are going to object this certification. Let me tell you this. If we lose this state, we lose the firewall between the radical left and their agenda to destroy this country, these socialist policies that they all agree on, Green New Deal, pushing jobs out of our country, right? That's what the Green New Deal will do, and they want to sign portions of it. They want to take away Second Amendment rights. They want to take away your AR-15 because it's modular and it looks scary, but realistically would never be used on a battlefield, would never be used in combat, but because it looks scary, you're ginning up a population of leftists who already have no understanding of firearms, many of them, and you're making it seem scary. So it's very easy for them to go out there and say, we're going to ban these assault rifles, made-up term, right? They keep doing it. Well, let me tell you, exactly. Come and take it. Get your ass off my lawn. I will tell you this, ladies and gentlemen. If we don't win this seat, D.C., Puerto Rico, they're going to get statehood right away, cementing a permanent majority for the Democrats in our Senate. If we do not take this seat, we are going to lose the nation that the Founding Fathers envisioned in this country. That is what will happen. 1776. God bless you. Donald Trump has fought for us these past 4 years, waking up every single day from attacks from every single person in the media. He has continued to fight for us, to stand up for us, and to represent us at the national level. Forgotten man, no more. So we are going to fight like hell for him, and we aren't giving up. We are not giving up. We're going to win Georgia. We're going to win this election. And we are going to fight like hell. We're going to fight for Trump. Fight for Trump. Fight for Trump. Fight for Trump. Thank you guys so much. You were patriots for being here. Get your friends out to vote. Make sure you get everyone you know out to vote. When Republicans fight, we win. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, buddy. Thank you, Ryan. Win Georgia, save America. Yes. Our next speaker, actually two speakers, because they're a power couple in Washington, are good friends of mine. Matt Schlapp runs the ACU and CPAC, and his lovely wife, Mercedes, worked for Donald Trump. Come on up, Matt and Mercedes.
So this is what we call our date, when we go out and travel together. Because why? Because we love our president, because we love our country, and we're here to defend and fight for America. And we're going to make Georgia great again. But what do we need? Let me tell you something. When Andrew came to the White House, and I was there during that time, and he met with President Trump, and President Trump listened to his stories and the stories of those families who lost loved ones. And the president said, we need to find solutions. That's what we need right now. The problem solvers, the defenders of freedom. And that's why we need David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler to go to the Senate and be the next senators of Georgia. This is the last line of defense. As a daughter of Cuban immigrants, my father ended up in jail as a political prisoner for 6 years when he fought against Fidel Castro. He lost his country. But then he came to America and said, America opened its arms to me, and I love this country. And when I talk to my father, he is so worried that we're about to lose America. And when you read those stories in the news that say, America is about to change, that's it. You all are the freedom fighters of today. You all are like our founding fathers of yesterday that understand what's at stake. You know what the religion is of those far left Democrats and socialists? Government. That's right. That is not our religion. You know who wants to take out the words under God from our Pledge of Allegiance? The Democrats. And you've got Warnock, who's the radical of the radicals, and then you've got Trust Fund Boy over here that basically want to go in there and take on and support Schumer's radical agenda, support Pelosi. And let me tell you something. We will lose this country. And it's why now more than ever, this is a moment in time that we have to decide, will we defend our Constitution? Will we defend our freedoms? We have to keep talking to our children and our grandchildren and our nieces and nephews and say, America is the greatest country in the world. We have to fight for our freedoms. We're not going to let the fake news dictate our terms. We are the people, and we will stand strong. And the only way we can do this is to ensure that we get David and Kelly back on board, being the problem solvers, creating jobs, standing for our freedoms, and stopping socialism in America. So let's stand together. Let's stand together. We left our 5 kids in Alexandria, Virginia, to come here because we care and love so much this country, and we will continue to fight against socialism. I cannot believe that socialism now is a common term in America. There is no place for socialism in the USA. So stand with us. Go out, do what we need to do, and make sure that the legal votes are counted, and we stop Stacy Abrams, and we stop these radical Democrats from becoming senators here in Georgia. So God bless you. I'm going to hand it over to my sweet husband, Matt Schlapp.
I am not a trust fund boy, for sure. Look, we know what we're up against. It's about defending America. It's America versus socialism. Our friends who love freedom around the globe have seen this fight in their own countries. You talk about what happened down south in Cuba. Talk to freedom lovers around this country. You know who they love? They love President Donald J. Trump. Those young activists in Hong Kong fighting for freedom while the communist Chinese are coming in and crushing them, they love the strength of Donald J. Trump when he takes on the communist government in China. And when you feel like in Georgia that it's all coming down to you, guess what? It is. Not just America. Everyone in America wishes they could be with you today. Because everybody is in this fight with you. Everyone who loves this country, who loves cops, who respects the flag, who honors our military, who thinks that America is a place that can be improved but should never be changed. When they say they want to transform America, we know what they mean. They mean chuck it, scrap it, throw it to the side. It was no good. They tell us that our history is something we should be ashamed of, and if you happen to be a Republican, you probably are racist. We have to start standing up for what we know to be true, which is this is a wonderful country, God ordained, with wonderful millions of decent human beings that are tolerant and loving. And we lead the world in almost every way. When there's a problem around the world, look to an American to fix that problem. So I just have one simple message for you. I don't know where you come from politically. I assume most of you supported President Trump. And I assume most of you, like my wife and myself, are a little grumpy about the way things are politically right now. But you know what I would do if I was a Georgian? I'd go vote. I'd go vote early, and I'd get all my family to vote, and I'd get all my friends to vote. And I'm somebody who actually supported Doug Collins. Guess what Doug Collins is going to do? And guess what those Doug Collins supporters are going to do? They're going to vote for Kelly Loeffler. You know why? She's done right by us. And as far as Senator Perdue is concerned, I like the fact that we have a straight-talking businessman in the Senate. We could use a couple more of those. So please send him back. And when you do, when you send back these 2 Republicans to the United States Senate, you are going to send a message to everyone across this country that is scared to death that socialism has taken root in this country and will never get America back. You'll send a message that sometime on the brink, people in Georgia who love freedom and love this country stood up and said, no more, we're not backing up one more inch. Not one more inch of ground will be ceded to these folks that want to transform the country. So I wish you well. Please bring it home. Please save this country. And when you do, we're all going to show up when it's a lot warmer and have a big celebration, okay?
All right, thank you, Matt. Thank you, Mercedes. They said it. They said it. We're going to win. But how do we win? Vote. How do we win? Vote. How do we win? Vote. Be sure and tell everybody you know they've got to vote. I want to Matt mentioned the service that and you guys are on the front lines now, but we've had men and women throughout our history who've risked everything for our country. I want to ask everybody who ever served in the military to please stand up. Please stand up. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. America thanks you for your service. Our next speaker is a gentleman that I first met in Trump Towers. He was for Donald Trump running for president before it was cool, and he helped him do that. Without further ado, let me give you Corey Lewandowski. Come on up, Corey.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thanks for being here. Everyone says it's cold. You guys best start getting tough, right? Cold. This is like summertime where I come from up in New Hampshire. I'm thinking about moving to Georgia, picking up golf, and running for governor. What do you guys think of that? I think you guys might need a new governor down here pretty soon. And a lieutenant governor who's going to support Donald Trump. What the hell are you guys doing? You guys got to get tough right now, okay? I spoke to the president yesterday, told him I was coming to Georgia. He said I'm going to be down here on Monday, and it better be warm. These guys better be ready for me. Because let me tell you what's at stake. You guys already heard it, so you don't need to hear it from me. The legacy of Donald Trump is at stake in Georgia. See, the country's looking at you saying, we can steal another one. They're not ready. They stole the last one. Don't kid yourself. We know what took place in this country. Look, I was in the line in Chick-fil-A in a car. They called that a Biden rally. About 6 cars over there, right? You want to see a rally, come tomorrow to see Donald Trump when 25,000 people show up. You don't have to turn on CNN or MSNBC to know what the left is going to do. They've already told you. They've been very clear what their agenda is going to be. They are going to raise your taxes. They are going to change the Supreme Court. They are going to take your guns away, and they are going to limit your American freedoms. They've been very clear about it. They don't even pretend to hide it. We've seen it. They're not kidding around. They know what's at stake. Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi have a plan for America which deviates from what we believe in. See, we believe in smaller government, lower taxes, and less regulation. We believe in personal freedoms and the right to make your own decisions for your families. But we also believe that it's time to fight. And the one thing I've learned standing next to Donald Trump for the last 6 years is he's a fighter. And all I ask of you guys is to fight in your own way. Whether that's picking up the phone and calling friends, going to the ballot box, or doing whatever it takes to be successful. Because we all have our own way to fight. I've seen Donald Trump fight the crooked media. I've seen him fight the fake Russia impeachment narrative. I've seen him fight every single day with the Republicans who don't stand with them. I've seen him fight the Democrats, and now it's your turn to fight. In Georgia, you're going to deliver. So thank you very much for being here, guys.
Thank you, Corey. We've got another great speaker. He's a Georgian who I served in Congress with him, and he fought hard for freedom and has never stopped. Let me give you Jack Kingston. Come on up, Jack.
David, thank you very much. Let me give you greetings from coastal Georgia, from warm Savannah. And Corey Lewandowski, you and I agree on politics, but we disagree on weather. It's cold as heck here. I'm actually from Athens, Georgia. And I see my bulldog brother over here. Uga lives in Savannah. Even Uga knows where the good weather is. But let me say this. Growing up in Athens, my mama used to drive us to Lenox Square for the big shopping. The country kids coming into the shopping center. We'd always go through Grow and Gwinnett. And then we went through DeKalb County. And you know what's different? DeKalb County in those days was Republican. Solid Republican. And when I was elected to the state legislature in 1984, Gwinnett County was solid Republican. We've got to go back to the good old days here in Gwinnett County. And it is in your hands. I was talking to a woman last night from East Cobb. Cobb also has got the issue of changing politics. And she told me she voted in the Democrat primary, or she went astray one time, you know. It's on her record. She was confessing. But what she said, I voted in the Democrat primary one time, and I get every single mailer that they ever put out. Now, we all in this crowd get political mailers, but she said, you know what? I also got a Christmas card from the Democrat Party. Didn't say anything about politics, just said your local Dems are thinking about you on, well, excuse me, I said Christmas. I meant a holiday card, of course. But she said, I've also, for this election, gotten 3 or 4 handwritten letters to vote for the bad guys. Handwritten letters, not machine-written letters. She gets phone calls. She gets text messages, offers to go to the polls. And just like everybody else, have you voted yet? Have you voted yet? Have you voted yet? What I am saying to you is that the Democrat Party of 5 years ago is not the Democrat Party you and I are facing today. It is a new and improved and strong and muscular, lean machine. In Columbus, Georgia, where David had the bus a week or two ago, one of our Republican friends came up to me after a rally like this, said, you know, they're paying $25 an hour for volunteers here, Democrats. $30 if you have a car. Now, Corey said to me earlier, he said, I got 5 cars. You reckon I could get that much money? Here's what I'm saying to you. I'm looking at a group of volunteers. I'm looking at a group of people who are here because ideologically you believe in America. You love America. You love the military. You love the police. You love family. You love the Second Amendment. You love the Constitution. You love Donald J. Trump. That idealism, though, has to be somewhat monetized. What I'm asking you to do is to go home today and don't tell folks this was a great rally unless it's connected to a phone call that says, and I need you to vote. Have you voted yet? Well, how about your son? How about your brother-in-law? How about your cousin? How about your neighbors? Because that's what the Democrats are doing. While you and I are sitting here right now, they are on the phone. They're driving, well, they're not driving people today. They might be, who knows? But they are going to be there on Tuesday. A great athlete told me one time that when he became a great athlete, he was playing in a game and realized if we're going to win this game, it's up to me. Somehow had this revelation. I've got to be the one to score the next goal. If I'm not, my entire team will lose. That's what you and I have to do. Leave this stadium here today and realize it's up to you. 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 It's up to me. Phone calls, text messages, anything you want. Let's harass the heck out of everybody until the polls close on Tuesday night. And we say yes to David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler and no to socialism in Georgia. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Good luck.
Thank you, Jack. He was a great congressman, and he's got it exactly right. We got to call, we got to tell people, we got to kind of harass them because so much is at stake. And I know you will do that. We're all here to help you. But in the end, it's Georgia that's going to deliver and save our country. And I thank you for that, Georgia. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Yeah, you deserve a round of applause, Georgia, because you're going to make a difference. Our next speaker has worked side by side with Donald Trump, been there through the good times and the hard times, one of his most trusted advisors. Let me give you Kellyanne Conway. Kellyanne.
Hello, Georgia. You look great. Thank you so much. The president asked me what I was doing if I was going anywhere in the new year. I said, I'm going to Georgia. He said, you going to come with me? I said, no, I'm going as your warm-up band. You have a great warm-up band here. But no joke. I know you're hearing a lot about what's at stake. You're the firewall, prevent the following from happening. But I also want to give a nice shout out to the great job that Senator David Perdue and Senator Kelly Loeffler have done in expanding freedom, in expanding your choices, in elevating your voices. Because a vote for them on Tuesday, 2 votes for them on Tuesday, really is a vote for freedom and free markets. It's a vote to protect the legacy of the America First agenda. We rebuilt the military. They helped the president to secure more money for our veterans who literally were waiting in line dying for care before President Trump got there. Our law enforcement is better resourced and more deeply respected because of their votes and their leadership. Your taxes are lower. Your optimism is up. Energy production in this country is at an all-time high. We are net exporters of natural gas and oil for the first time ever. It doesn't happen by accident, and it won't happen if you let 2 other people get into the United States Senate. Now, I remember very early in the Trump administration, maybe April, May of that year, we came to Georgia, 2017, and the president was supporting Karen Handel for Congress, for the Tom Price seat. And her opponent was a person named John Ossoff. And it caught my eye because he got about 95% of his contributions or so were from out of state. I heard this morning it's about the same this time. About 95% or so of the contributions from out of state. And even the Democrats want to guarantee about 95% of the votes will be from in-state. So let's make sure that we send a message that Georgia is not for sale. Georgia cannot be bought with the money of people who want you to pay for their nonsense, want you to foot the bill. Ladies and gentlemen, every time I listen to these candidates on the other side, I don't get angry. I get very sad. I get very concerned. Because if you think, when somebody tells you that they believe in socialism, when somebody admits to you they're a radical, believe them. But it doesn't get better when they get to Washington and get that power of 1 on 100. It only gets worse. Life will be easier for them if they get there. Life will be much harder for you. You will be asked to pay more in freedom and in money. Now, the most important thing you can do is recognize that people look at you and they say, I like you, and you're like me. That's how you get people to the polls. You are the best surrogates that we have, the best motivators we have, the best inspirational, aspirational men and women we have, because people will look at you and say, you know what? I see you at church. I see you at the synagogue. I see you at the playground. I see you at work. I see you in the grocery store. Why are you voting? I'm too tired to vote. You know what? If you're tired now, you're going to be exhausted when you're paying higher taxes and you're overregulated. I'm too busy. You're going to be super busy when they tell you abortion in the 10th month is fine and grabbing your guns. My vote doesn't count. You know your vote counts. You just learn that again and again. And they're all the same. All the politicians are the same. Ladies and gentlemen, I've never seen a brighter line contrast between the 2 Republicans and the 2 Democrats as I see in this race. The ilk of Warnock and Ossoff was rejected by the National Democrats. They didn't go that way for their own party nominee. Think about that. The whole country rejected that radical ideology. And you, Georgia, you're expected to push it forward? I don't think so. So on Tuesday, you get 5 friends who get 5 friends who get 5 friends who are tired of being called names, tired of being called irredeemable and deplorable and worthless, tired of all the broken promises, tired of all the radicalism, and you get them to the polls because it's nothing short of our future. The most important thing, the most important resolution, forget the resolutions, the most important thing you can do this week is get people to the polls who we haven't even thought of in a while. Did you vote yet? It counts. Your vote is your equalizer. We all get 1 vote. We all get 1 vote. And it's time for you to show the people to whom you are completely invisible and forgotten, that you are forgotten no longer. Protect the legacy of President Trump as it's been aided by Senator Perdue and Senator Loeffler. Get out there and vote, Georgia, and show America that you saved it. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you, Kellyanne. You can see why President Trump really wanted her on his staff, right? What a great motivator. Yes, thank you, thank you. And a brilliant lady, too. I've worked with her for many, many years. Our next speaker, he was already mentioned by Senator Scott, is one of my heroes. Because anytime any question comes up, he asks, what does the Constitution say? Right? Not many people in Washington know that. Most of them haven't ever read it. But Mike Lee knows it, he studied it, and he preaches it. He's a great senator and a great American. Let me give you Mike Lee.
Hello, Georgia! You know, I flew in from Washington, D.C. this morning with my wife, Sharon, who's up there somewhere. And when we landed, I said, it sure feels good to be back in the United States of America. One of the things I love about Georgia is one of the few states where people have a sense of who they are. They have an identity. They're Georgians. They love freedom. They love God. And they know the difference between God and government, don't they? You see, here in Georgia, people understand that when a politician comes to you and says, you need me, the opposite is quite true. The fact is, America needs you, and politicians need the American people to do anything they want. For some of these people, they can't get enough government, and they want you to ignore a very simple fact about government, which a lot of people in Washington won't tell you, but I'm going to let you in on it here. Government doesn't love you. Government can't see you. In fact, government isn't even alive. You see, government really does only two things. It collects taxes. How do you feel about that? Collects taxes for, they need stuff to run government. They collect taxes and they use force to enforce the law. That's fine for what only government can do. But there are some politicians who will come to you and they'll say, we want government to make everything fair in your life. We want government to make the oceans recede. We want government to decide how much money you can make. We want government to decide what kind of car you drive or whether you drive a car or not. We want government to dictate every aspect of your life, from where you go to the doctor to how you pay for it, to how you finance your college education, to who's teaching you. One thing we know about government is that it's not good at everything. It's good at only collecting taxes and enforcing the law with force. Do you want that? Do you want more of that in your life? And where you do need government, most of the time, should it happen from Washington, D.C.? You've got perfectly good government officials right here in your hometown, in your home state of Georgia. We don't need more Washington in Georgia, do we? And see, that's where we've got this great decision to make right now. We've got a great decision to make where it's unusual. You have 2 U.S. senators up for re-election at the same time. And it's equally unusual that there is such a stark contrast between people who want to give you more government and people who understand that true prosperity in America stems from being free. Now, look, there are some doubters out there, even in our own political party, even among Republicans. There are some doubters out there who might be sowing seeds of discord. I don't know, maybe they're on the take from somebody else, but they might say, for example, it doesn't matter because they'll steal the election anyway. Well, that's a good reason to vote, isn't it? You got to go out and vote that much more. You got to convince that many more friends to vote if they might steal it. There are others who might say, well, there's not that much of a difference between Republicans and Democrats anyway. I understand the sentiment, but I can tell you that is not true here. Maybe you're one of those people who thinks, well, I'm more of a libertarian than a Republican, so I'm going to stay away. Please, please don't do that. I can tell you this. Regardless of how far you are out there on the limb of being a constitutionalist or a libertarian, you're a heck of a lot closer to David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler than you ever should hope to be to Ossoff and Warnock. We can't have that. Look, even though 2020 is behind us, the 2020 election cycle is not behind us. As my wife Sharon likes to say, it'll all work out in the end, and if things feel like they're not working out, it must not be the end. Here's the thing. The Democrats and the liberals and those who want more government and those who have a socialist progressive vision for America, they already control our schools. They already tell you how many grams of riboflavin have to be in a serving of Cheerios. They already control the news media. They already control the entertainment media, and they already control the U.S. House of Representatives. Are we going to give them the Senate? No. Georgia is the key to stopping that. Will you stand with me in keeping the Senate Republican? Will you get all of your friends and neighbors, even the crazy ones who will vote for Loeffler and Perdue, get them out to vote day after tomorrow? Together we can do this. We will not abandon you. We will stand with you because you stand with us and you stand for the United States of America and the cause of freedom. May God bless the sovereign state of Georgia, and may God bless the United States of America.
Thank you, Mike. Now, I know many of you are wondering, wasn't there one more speaker on the program? Yes. Without further introduction needed, somebody who fought Obamacare, even when Republicans wouldn't do it, somebody who stood up for freedom his whole life, somebody who's ran for president, somebody who supports Donald Trump, somebody we all love, Ted Cruz, come on down. Straight from Texas. Go get him, buddy.
God bless the great state of Georgia. We're 2 days out. 2 days out from the biggest election in the history of the state of Georgia. Georgia's got 2 Senate seats on the ballot on Tuesday. And all across the country, the forces of darkness, those who want to destroy this country, those who want to tear down the Constitution, those who want to strip away your liberty, they are focusing all of their energy, all of their time, all of their attacks on the great state of Georgia. And I'm here today with a word of encouragement. The people of Georgia are going to rise up and say, hell no! These 2 elections on Tuesday may well be the single most important elections in the Senate of our lifetimes. Georgia may well find itself deciding whether or not Chuck Schumer controls the United States Senate. Now, I got to tell you, if that happens, the values of Chuck Schumer and the radical left are very, very different from the values of the great state of Georgia. The people of Georgia want low taxes, low regulations, and lots of jobs. The people of Georgia want to see small businesses growing and prospering and opening their doors and being in business. The people of Georgia want to see the border secured and our homes safe. The people of Georgia support the men and women of law enforcement. And the radical left, a Chuck Schumer Senate, let me tell you what they do. A Chuck Schumer Democratic Senate would start with a massive tax increase hurting every man and woman in the state of Georgia. A Chuck Schumer Democratic Senate would pass the Green New Deal, killing millions of jobs across this country. A Chuck Schumer Democratic Senate would make the District of Columbia a brand new state to have 2 new Democratic senators there forever. A Chuck Schumer Democratic Senate would grant amnesty to 15 million people here illegally in this country. A Chuck Schumer Democratic Senate would fight to abolish the police and to gut our military. Look, the people of Georgia want to stand with every soldier, sailor, airman, and Marine in this country and defend our nation. You know, Joe Biden looks at China and says they're our friends. Come on, man. Come on, man. No, Joe, they're not. They're a bunch of commie bastards. Now, listen, to be fair, we've known for a long time that Democrats were in bed with Communist China. We just didn't realize quite how literally. Look, as the son of a Cuban immigrant, and by the way, I got to say, what is going on with Raphael Warnock palling around with Fidel Castro? Well, that's one explanation. The last I checked, the communist voting population in Georgia ain't that big. But as a son of a Cuban immigrant, more than a few times I've said, screw the Chinese communists. And Eric Swalwell apparently said, okay. And let me tell you, a Chuck Schumer Democratic Senate would pack the United States Supreme Court with 4 new left-wing radicals. A Chuck Schumer Democratic Senate would pack the Supreme Court with leftists who would take away our right to free speech, who would take away our religious liberty, who would take away the Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms. But I'm here to tell you right now, that ain't going to happen. And the reason it's not going to happen is because of the men and women gathered here. Patriots who've shown up to fight for our nation. Who've shown up on a cold Sunday. Look, as a Texan, this is blizzard weather. I didn't even know I owned gloves. But the men and women who are here, you are here because you love liberty. You are here because you're fighting for our nation. How many of y'all have voted already in these Senate races? That is phenomenal. Now, every hand that didn't go out, you're going to show up and vote on Tuesday. But not just that. Everyone here, if you did vote, then you've got a task between now and Tuesday, which is to find 10 other people to show up and vote. Listen, we need to be deadly serious with what we're facing right now. The Democratic turnout operation is producing massive turnout. Of course not. But look, the best answer Voter fraud is a persistent problem we've seen for a long time. The best answer is win by a big enough margin on Tuesday that no one can steal the election. And if you're pissed off at what happened in the presidential race, and I am pissed off at what happened in the presidential race, the best response, we've got some friends of ours in the media who says, well, gosh, everyone who's mad at what happened with President Trump should just stay home and hand the Senate over to the socialists. Well, that may just be about the dumbest thing I've ever heard. If you're mad about what happened on Election Day, the answer is show up on Tuesday and win a resounding victory. But we know that turnout operation is flooding Democratic votes in the state of Georgia. And so every person here, I want to give you a simple task. Go home and pull out a notepad and make a list of 10 names. 10 names you can call. Maybe it's your brother. Maybe it's your next door neighbor, your coworkers. People you can call all across Georgia to say, listen, this election matters. It matters for your liberty. It matters for my liberty. It is entirely possible the margin in the state of Georgia could be decided by every person here turning out 10 voters on Tuesday. That is the power. And as I look at this group of patriots, I am reminded of patriots throughout our country's history that have arisen in times of great peril. The patriots who stood at Bunker Hill. The patriots who stood at Valley Forge. The patriots who have defended this nation over and over and over again. And now the state of Georgia is in a position to defend freedom for the entire country. I am here with you today because the men and women here, you control the fate of this country. You control whether we plunge into the socialist abyss. You control whether we lose the safety and security and opportunity that has made America such a beacon of freedom to the world. And you control whether we preserve the Constitution and Bill of Rights. And I'm here to tell you, we will not go quietly into the night. We are going to win on Tuesday. And we're going to win because patriots across the state of Georgia are rising to the challenge, are saying, we will defend our liberty. We will defend the Constitution. We will defend the Bill of Rights. And together, we will defend the United States of America. God bless you.
God bless you, Ted Cruz, and God bless Georgia. Come on up, guys. Come on up, everybody. We got more T-shirts for you. When Georgia votes, Georgia wins. And when Georgia wins, you save America. Thank you, Georgia. God bless you. We're here with you, and we love you. Thank you.
David, tell them the photo line's going to start right here.
On stage.
Yeah. So we're going to have people coming through here.
Okay, if you want a photo, there's going to be a photo line over here on this side of the stage.